a film with Morgan Freeman and Diane Keaton as this elderly couple, retired couple living in Brooklyn. They bought a flat there many, many years ago, and they felt the area become incredibly gentrified around them. And they've decided that, as they approach the twilight of their lives, now is the time to cash out and sell this kind of $1 million property and go somewhere nice. And here is Morgan Freeman observing about just how much Brooklyn has changed.
Neighborhood's changed a lot. It's cool now, filled with hipsters and gentrifiers. Mothers with baby strollers that cost as much as a Chevy, and their banker husbands, their heads buried in their smartphones. Crossing a street while you're trading stocks and bonds doesn't seem that smart to me. The neighborhood's just got itself a Whole Foods. All it needs now is the ultimate sign of modern civilization, an Apple store. But as much as it's changing, I'm going to miss this place.
Morgan Freeman there, what a great voice. You feel like the Shawshank Redemption sort of ghost hangs over that, but it's a wonderful voice, isn't it?
It's a wonderful voice.
What's the performance like?
It's the problem with this film is that it puts so much stock in that voice. Really, Freeman isn't playing the main character here. It's a film about a married couple. Mm-hmm. But Diane Keaton's character is the active force. She's the one who wants the house on the market. She's the one who wants to move somewhere else, and she's the one who takes them around other various properties. The film is basically about flat hunting in New York. And Freeman's character is very much the kind of passive, he stands at the side, he's an artist, he doesn't like the idea of his space being invaded. And the weird thing the film does with this voiceover is it kind of promotes his character into a position that it just doesn't suit. And I assume it's because he's got that voice. If you've got Morgan Freeman in your movie and you're not going to have a voiceover, why would you do that? That's insane. But the problem is it dramatically destabilizes the whole thing. So you have them skulking around New York looking for somewhere to live. Various kind of eccentric characters they meet on the way. They keep seeing them at these various different house showings. There's a kind of a crazy woman who just lives to look around other people's houses. She doesn't want to buy any of them. There's this kind of mystical truth-telling child that Morgan Freeman keeps encountering in bedrooms, and she says some very wise things about how houses aren't, necessarily just four walls, but they're places that you make, they're homes. There's flashbacks to their earlier lives where there's two young actors, bless them, doing their very, very best to look as much like and sound as much like Morgan Freeman and Diane Keaton as possible, and not really quite getting there.
That's a big task, isn't it?
The backstory behind their relationship is very ordinary. There's nothing particularly out of the unusual about that story at all. And the purpose of the film is, the moral of it feels totally glib.
When the Culture Show first started, I did a report about the rise of computer graphic animation, in which we had hand-drawn animators worrying that actually their art form was going to be lost, but quite the opposite has happened.
I'm sorry, this was the point at which I started going, then comrades come rally. Sorry, okay? As for the rest of them,
What was that?
That's the Internationale.